Hi. Just managed to join.
I hope you're all doing well.
Yeah, I am.
Hey, Peyton, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, we're doing well.
That's good.
Hello, Mitra. How are you doing?
All right, so we'll just be waiting for a couple of participants to join, and then we'll get ahead with the meeting.
Sure. Sounds good.
This is new. You want to change it like this? Choose this along. When you when the multiple things comes, just choose one thing. Choose the foreground along. Okay.
All right, so you guys, if your camera and your voice, everything is working properly, your audio, just check if it's connecting properly, and then we'll get ahead with the session.
Okay.
And make sure you unmute your microphone
Microphones
as well.
too, yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we're still waiting on a couple of people. We'll get started in about 3-4 minutes. Right, hello,
All right.
how are you doing?
Pardon?
Yep.
All right, so I've unmuted the speaker's microphone, so just check if your audio is working.
Okay, so can you hear me then?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, that's good.
Can you hear me?
Please give me 5 minutes and just
Yeah, sure.
get myself ready.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Can you hear me?
How about me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I have muted my mic finally.
Yeah.
Because I just needed to sit in the proper room, so.
Right, can we have all the speakers unmute your mics?
Yep.
Yeah, can you hear me?
If you can.
Yeah.
Should I turn on my camera or?
Yeah, turn on your camera. We want all the speakers to be seen and heard.
Good afternoon, everybody, and good evening.
All right, so I think most people have joined, and we will be admitting people who join later. So I think we can begin with this session. So hello, everyone. We hope you are all doing well. And it's amazing to see how many speakers from all around the world are joining this session today. So thank you so much for joining this session, whether as a speaker or a participant. We really think that you will enjoy it, and most importantly, also take away some valuable information as well.
Before we begin, we would like everyone to introduce themselves so we can get familiar with each other. You can share your name, where you're from, some of your hobbies, and just anything you would like to share with us all.
All right, so I think we can follow this order as shown here in the speaker's introduction. Okay, so Peyton from Australia is first. So Peyton, you can go ahead and just introduce yourselves to everyone.
Hi, I'm Peyton. I'm 15 years old. I'm in year 10, so I'm in high school right now. I like to draw in my spare time as well as listen to music. I like to hang out with friends and stuff like that. My favorite subjects at school include math and science. So yeah.
Right, that's great. And for some of those who don't know, Harpit and I and Peyton actually participated in the Great Australian Spelling Bee a couple years back, which was a spelling competition on TV. So we're definitely glad to have you back, Peyton.
Thank you.
All right, so next we have Praveen from Singapore. Praveen, you can go ahead.
Okay. Hi, my name is Praveen. I'm in Singapore. I was born in India, and the coronavirus situation is actually here is not really that bad.
All right.
But there are a few like dormitory workers who are kind like many people, many migrant workers in dormitories are like stuck together in not so good conditions. So now current Singapore, every day there are like 1,000 cases every day in Singapore.
Yeah, we'll talk about the COVID-19 in the speaker's discussion. You can just introduce yourselves for now.
Maybe share some of your hobbies.
What are your hobbies? What do you like to do?
My hobbies are rollerblading and cricket.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm in secondary 1
All right.
or 7th grade in Singapore. And pretty much that's it.
All right, that's great.
So next we have Nivedita from India. You can go ahead.
Nivedita?
Hi everyone.
Here.
Yeah, hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, could you turn up your volume a little bit?
Yes. Now can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. You can go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, my name is Nivedita. I'm studying in grade 10 and I'm from India. I live in Chennai in the state of Tamil Nadu. Yeah, my hobbies are dancing, painting and doing DIY crafts. Yeah, since I don't have dance classes, I practice dance at home. Yeah.
All right, that's great to know. Okay, so the next we have Mithra from UK. Mithra, you can go ahead.
Hi, I'm Mithra, and I was born in India, and I came to the UK when I was 5. I'm in year 6 and I'm 11 years old. My favorite subjects in school are math and English.
All right.
I really like doing art. I really like doing art at home during my
Alright.
spare time.
Good.
Okay, so next we have Ria from the USA. Ria, you can go ahead and introduce. We have Ria. Ria, can you hear us? Okay, I think we'll move on with the next speaker for now.
We have Sneha from India. You can go ahead.
We have Sneha here. Okay, so I think a few speakers are yet to join us, but they will pretty soon. So do we have Rahul from Australia?
Yep. Hi, I'm Rahul. I'm from Australia. I'm in year 9 and I'm 14. My hobbies are to like play cricket, do music. Probably I like to read in my spare time.
All right, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all.
All right, that's great. So I think now we can move on with the agenda of today's session. So here are the topics that we'll be going over. We will be going over the present COVID-19 situation, along with the lockdown situation in countries. We'll be going over a brief overview of some of the specifics of the COVID-19 and a couple of prevention measures too. We also have and then we'll follow with this discussion. So here's where you'll be able to report your thoughts and views on this. And we will conclude the session with the aftermath and the future outlook. So I think now you all have a clear picture on what today's session is going to cover. So I think we can get started.
Okay. So lockdown in Australia is a bit strict. Like all the borders are shut and stuff to prevent people from coming into states and territories and stuff, just in case they carry the disease. And we have almost 7,000 cases from what I'm led to believe, and only 100 deaths. So the recovery rate's pretty good. We're not really allowed to like go outside very much, but we're allowed to go out in small groups, I think, and for essential travel such as grocery shopping, and exercise and all that stuff. So yeah, we're pretty good at the moment with our stuff.
All right,
Actually.
we'll actually get to the discussion part a little later on in the session. So first of all, we'll start with the present situation. So Harpit and I will just go over a couple of points, and then when we get to the speakers discussion, you'll be able to put forward.
Okay.
I think we'll just get started.
Sorry.
I'm pretty sure we're all aware of the situation right now. The COVID-19 has impacted over 4 million people worldwide and has taken a great toll on almost every country in the world. And with the present situation of COVID-19 being really substantial, we think that it's really necessary that every one of us have the global awareness and knowledge of this topic. As some of you might know, about a month ago, there was a huge spike in cases in European countries, especially in Italy and Spain, where the death toll had been significantly increasing each day. But now the situation has decreased, so this is a good sign, showing the flattening of the curve. However, there are some countries around the world which have been significantly affected by COVID-19, such as the US, where the number of cases are increasing rapidly each day. So it's extremely important that all of us follow the safety measures, precautions, and protocols to make sure we ameliorate the situation.
Definitely.
And hopefully we can flatten the curve and progress towards a safer environment.
Yeah, I also think it's really important for all of us to recognize the amazing people all around the world who are risking their lives. So thank you so much to all the frontline workers, the doctors, staff, and just everyone who's been lending a helping hand during this pandemic. We are extremely grateful for that, and I think we've been showing it by applauding from our balconies, hollering out, lighting candles, and those are just some really heartwarming moments during difficult times like these. So once again, thank you so much to all of the people working so hard. We are really grateful for your generosity and how kind you are. All right, so now I think we can go over a brief overview of the COVID-19, including a couple of specifics and facts as well.
So first of all, the coronavirus is not a single type of virus. It is actually a family of viruses. It is also known as the SARS-CoV-2 or the severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. I'm pretty sure that every one of us have heard the word coronavirus before. So does anyone know what the word corona means?
Any guesses on what the word corona means?
Well,
right? It doesn't look like there are any guesses.
Well, I think you.
Is it crown?
Yeah, it's crown.
It's
You're
crown.
correct.
That's
you
right.
By looking at the slide.
It's resembling a crown. Even if you take a microscope view of the coronavirus, you can see that the outer edge has a crown like a pyramid. And the type of coronavirus that is affecting everyone around the world right now is called the novel coronavirus or COVID-19.
So I think you've understood that the coronavirus isn't a single type of virus. It's more of a family of viruses. And the COVID-19 or the novel coronavirus, which is the one affecting the world right now, is a type of coronavirus. So this is quite similar to SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, and MERS, Middle East respiratory syndrome. So they are both from a family of coronaviruses. And I know what you're all probably thinking. This sounds like something straight from a science textbook. But it's actually quite interesting to think that later on in the future, this COVID-19 could actually be taught in schools and to students. This pandemic, this time that we are living through right now, could actually be featured in a future high school textbook. So that is something quite interesting we can all hold on to. All right, so let's move on to the next. Okay, so now we're going over some of the prevention and safety measures to take for the COVID-19. And yes, you probably heard prevention is better than cure, or a stitch in time saves 9. And these are actually really significant. And that's why we want to emphasize on each of these measures, because they could mean the difference between being safe and being not. So I think Harpy can go ahead on that.
Sure. The first measure is pretty well known, but is also one of the most predominant measures we can take to protect ourselves from COVID-19. It is washing your hands with an alcohol-based sanitizer or with soap and water. And make sure you do this for at least 20 seconds to completely get rid of all the germs from your hand and prevent the disease from spreading to others.
The next measure is that to keep a distance of at least 1 meter between yourself and anyone who seems to be sick. And yes, though it says 1 meter, and you've probably heard people talking about 6 feet apart, the latest studies have shown that germs can travel way further than that. So it's important to always stay alert and be aware of the people you surround yourself with.
The next measure is to avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth, as these are the means of spread of COVID-19. And make sure to follow safe practices such as covering your mouth when you cough or sneeze and other hygienic measures too.
And I think in a lot of places, there have been these lockdown policies brought to place, these curfews or restrictions. That is, you can't leave the house after a certain point of time, or you can't leave the house unless it's for, bare essentials or emergency. And though while there are a couple of people who do follow these rules, there are also a couple of people who are not taking it as seriously as they should. And there's also a couple of people who who are completely against this in total. And I think right now in a situation like this, during this pandemic, stirring up arguments or bringing up hate is really not going to make the situation any better at all. Because what the world needs right now is solidarity. And as well said, with solidarity, not only will we be able to defeat the virus, but we'll also be able to create a better world in the process of it. So I think something to keep in mind is always to just be kind and generous to people during this pandemic, because we are all in this together. We may not be literally standing together, but in one way or the other, we can all play a part in this betterness of this situation.
So I'm pretty sure that all of you have been listening for quite a while now. So let's change things with something interesting. This activity is called Fact Unwinding. In this activity, Harpita and I are going to be sharing some facts about the COVID-19. And if you think the fact is true, you can raise your right hand. And if you think the fact is false, then don't raise your hand at all. Does everyone get the rules?
Yeah.
All right, does everyone get the rules? All right, let's start with the first fact. A sneeze can travel more than 6 feet. True or false? All right, we have a few hands going up. Okay. All right. And this statement is true. So here is the evidence behind that. A fluid dynamics scientist at MIT used high-speed cameras and light to reveal how expulsion from the human body can spread pathogens such as the novel coronavirus. So videos and images from her lab showed that a fine mist of droplets can actually spread from a person's mouth as far as 27 feet. So even if you're going to be standing like approximately 25 feet away from someone who seems to be sick, you will still be at a risk for infection. So yes, as previously stated, always be aware and alert of the people you surround yourself with.
The next fact is that COVID-19 only affects old people and people with pre-existing diseases. So is this true or false?
Right, I don't see any hands going up so far.
Yeah.
And the answer is yes.
Well, in fact, this is false. People of all ages can be infected with SARS-CoV-2 and develop COVID-19. Older people and people with pre-existing medical conditions, such as asthma, diabetes, and heart disease, are more likely to become severely ill with this virus.
Let's move on. Okay, eating garlic does not help prevent true or false. Okay, we have a couple of hands going up. Okay, people are uncertain, and this is true. This statement is true. The garlic is a healthy food and may have some antimicrobial properties. There is no evidence from the current outbreak that eating garlic or any other similar superfood for that instant will help prevent COVID-19. And this actually brings up the topic of immunity. Though immunity-boosting foods will not assuredly prevent the COVID-19 or cure the COVID-19, they will definitely help boost your immunity. And that is very key when fighting a respiratory virus like the COVID-19. So you can keep that in mind for sure. Right, next fact.
The next fact is that mosquitoes can spread COVID-19. Is this true or false?
Okay, we don't really have any hands going up. Okay, we have one.
Right.
All right, this is false.
The claim was originally published on social media, but has since been removed. The coronavirus is a respiratory virus and tends to spread through tiny droplets when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or speaks. The World Health Organization is quite clear that there is no evidence to date suggesting that mosquitoes can transmit the virus.
All right, so let's move to the final fact. People with obesity are at risk from COVID-19. True or false? Okay, I don't see any.
Oh, sorry, again. I didn't hear that.
Okay. And the answer is false. And the answer is true. An analysis of 16,749 patients admitted to UK hospitals with COVID-19 found that obesity was linked to a 30% higher probability of dying compared to people who were not obese. So people with obesity have additional risk factors such as high blood pressure and cardiovascular disease, and they're also more vulnerable to infectious diseases because of more inflammation in the body. So overall, yes, this is true. People with obesity are at a higher risk from the COVID-19. Okay, so right now that brings us to the end of the fact activity. You can all give yourself a round of applause or a pat on the back if you got most of it correct. And I think most of you got it correct. Good job. All right, so now is the most appropriate time. This is the speaker's discussion. So here you'll be able to put out your views and your topic, where how it's affecting your place, how you're spending your quarantine. We're definitely looking forward to interesting answers for that. All right, so first of all, we have Peyton from Australia. So Peyton, you can go ahead now.
Well, as I said before, the situation here is not that bad. The state that I'm in, which is South Australia, that's probably the best state in terms of how well we're doing and how few cases we're getting. We've only got a few active cases at the moment. Well, we shut our borders early, so I think that's a good idea because I think that dramatically flattened the curve for our state anyway, and it helped to like reduce number of cases, and restrictions are allowed to be lifted earlier, I guess, although that's not necessarily a good thing. Well, like pubs, clubs and bars, I think they're starting to be opened right now, but I don't think that's a good idea because I think it just increases the risk of spreading COVID-19 and stuff like that. Anyway, from the whole country, I think a couple of states aren't doing very well, like New South Wales and Victoria. I don't think they're doing that well at the moment. But in general, we're doing much better than like the US, for example. It's not doing that great at the moment. Like we've had online schooling and stuff as well. Like I had a trial day for my school was online. We did all our classes online just in case that would have had to be implemented sometime in the future. Like we had a normal timetable, but the classes were held online with the teachers being at school, streaming their lessons to the students who are at home. Our homework's been normal, I think, as far as I'm concerned. Like I've still had the same assignments, and we haven't had any tests, I don't think. So yeah, life in general has been a bit different, and I think it will be a bit different afterwards, like after the whole corona thing's over. But yeah, I've been at home a lot because of the whole quarantine thing, the family. I've just been doing the usual things really, because I don't really go out much anyway. So I've been doing homework, I've been drawing, been reading a little bit, been watching some movies and TV. I've been trying to keep contact with my friends a lot as well. With the social media like FaceTime and texting and all that as well. It's really important to take not preventative, but like you should really try and stay safe during this whole pandemic. Like make sure you wash your hands thoroughly as well. Like try not to do physical contact with people, and just try to practice social distancing as well. Like stay at least a meter apart from people, as was mentioned earlier. I know these are tough times for everybody, but I believe that we can get through them if we persist and if we abide by the rules and if we stay safe and stuff. So yeah.
All right, that's great. Thanks for sharing that with us, Peter.
Next, we have Praveen from Singapore. You can go ahead.
Okay. Coronavirus in Singapore is not really that bad. The local cases, like outside dormitories, are pretty low, like low to like 1 or 2 cases per day. But in dormitories, the migrant workers like construction workers, janitors, people like that, around my area, there was like some sort of event that was happening, and there was a coronavirus cluster there. So all of the people who were working there were transferred to dormitories, and there the conditions are not really good in there because everybody's very close to each other. There's not really good sanitation in there. So from the dormitories, that's like the major source of where all the coronavirus coronavirus cases in Singapore are ranging from like 1,000 cases per day, which is kind of like a lot. But local cases now are deterred because if you have to go to a mall or grocery stores or anywhere, you have to show your identity card to them. So in case someone close by around that day that you entered was like infected, they can contact trace it to you so that they can immediately quarantine you to prevent another cluster or an outbreak.
Okay, so is that it?
That's
Okay,
Yes, so
thanks so
thank you
much
so
for
much.
sharing this. All right, so next we have Nivetha from India. You can go ahead and tell us your views on this topic.
Yeah, good evening and hi everyone. Yeah, I've done a PPT on this topic. Can I share my screen?
Sure, you can
Yeah,
share your
sure.
slides.
Yeah, thank you. I think the host, you have disabled screen sharing. Can you please?
All right, hold on a second. Yeah, you'll be able to share your screen now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here to share my thoughts on the topic how students can step forward in life after quarantine. So, here's a little bit about me. I have already told, you can just take a look at it. Yeah. So, I've participated in many competitions like skits, elocution, and dance. These are some of my treasured accomplishments. Yeah, I won first place in the English elocution state level.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I hold a Guinness record in Bharatanatyam.
That's really
That's
impressive
amazing.
too.
Yeah, this Guinness record was for the largest Bharatanatyam dance with around 4,500 participants.
All right.
I also presented a paper on the topic visualization in mathematics in Kanyakumari, which was conducted by AMTI.
Wow, that's amazing. You
Very
definitely have a
cool.
lot of great accomplishments.
Thank you. And let me walk you through the COVID-19 situation in my country. My country has a population of 1.3 billion, and I think my country has done a pretty good job in controlling the pandemic. So, as on May 13, there were 75,000 confirmed cases, and the recovery rate was around 30%. The state of Maharashtra has the largest number of cases. And our Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi, has topped the approval rating, which was carried out to know which leader handled the pandemic well. And next, how did my country handle this pandemic? Measures taken by the government of India. Our Prime Minister has enforced strong lockdown measures to control the spread of coronavirus. On March 22nd, there was a voluntary Janata curfew, which was from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. And in India, we had 3 lockdown phases. We are in the phase 3 of the lockdown currently. It ends on May 17. Now let's look at Arogya Setu app, India's tracing technology, contact tracing technology. So, what does this app do? It sends out an alert if any of the app users in your contact test positive. So, this app was launched on April 2nd, 2020. This is also used for self certification. It can be used in the case of interstate travel. So, this is the world's fastest app to reach 50 million downloads in just 13 days.
Okay, Nivetha, sorry to interrupt. Could you turn up your volume a little?
Yeah, 1 minute. One minute. Now, can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can.
you're
All right, you
audible.
can go ahead.
Yeah. 5,200 rail coaches are ready as COVID care centers. If hospitals get overburdened, these coaches can accommodate the patients. So we have Ministry of Ayush under the Government of India. Ayush stands for Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy, which does research on alternative medical systems in India. So this Ministry of Ayush has been sending guidelines on safety practices and how to boost our immunity. So whenever you try to make a call, you get a recorded voice message which will be giving out safety measures and helpline numbers. Yeah. ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, join hands with Bharat Biotech to develop COVID-19 vaccine. It also joins with Zydel Kedelia to manufacture COVID kits. So, a couple of days back, our Prime Minister announced a relief package of 260 billion US dollars to help those who are affected by the pandemic. There is a ray of hope that we'll find a vaccine for COVID-19 soon. So now let's look at the safety measures. I'm sure we all have heard about these safety measures many times and are familiar with these, and these have become even our routine. So I'll just quickly run you through these safety measures. So we should wash our hands regularly. We should avoid going to stores and we should avoid crowded places. Always we should maintain our social distance, no handshake or touching others. Our face mask is mandatory and we should do self-quarantine. That is, stay in home as far as possible. Avoid traveling outside. And we should avoid touching face, mouth and nose. Yeah, my daily activities during quarantine. My first half of the day is gone by attending online classes conducted by my school. I also attend webinars conducted by other e-learning portals. I watch TV, I play indoor games. Yeah, since I don't have dance classes, I practice dance. I sketch in my free time. I watch YouTube channels. I have a playful pet Bruno. I play with him. I have recently added exercise to my routine. Yeah, this is the sketch I wanted to share with you, done during this quarantine. Yeah, thanking our daily heroes.
Okay, this is definitely really creative.
Thank you. Life after quarantine. So, what we can expect in each of these cases after quarantine? Schools, we can expect more of online schooling, and even if schools open, we must maintain strict hygiene and maintain our social distance. Young children should be handled very carefully. And offices, uh, we expect more people to work from home and people working in shifts. In the case of roads, there'll be very less traffic because very less people are commuting. In case of shops, limited store hours, limited stocks, and even limited people going to shop. So our daily routine, cleansing ourselves, mandatory mask, and social distancing should be our daily routine. So what I plan to do, whether there is a lockdown or not. So these 5 M's helps us to stay safe. First M, manage my health. Boosting immunity should be our first priority. Maintain clean hands. We should practice washing our hands regularly. Minimize contact. We should minimize or have minimum contact with those who are sick.
That's right.
Mask up when unwell. We should use masks while stepping out, or and we should seek medical attention whenever needed. Monitor the monitor the news. Believe only reliable news sources and um, follow the guidelines put forth by the government sites. And so, no storm can last forever. This too shall pass. Be strong. Let's fight this COVID-19 together. Thank you.
All right, wow, thank you so
That was
much,
amazing.
Nivedita, for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Wonderful PPT. And you definitely gave some valuable insights on how India is fighting against the COVID-19. So thank you for sharing that with us. All right, so now we'll go ahead with the next speaker. So now we have Mithra from the UK. So Mithra, you can go ahead.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, sure, you
Sure.
can.
You do. Hold on just a minute.
Yeah, sure.
This one, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
No, it's not working.
Give me.
Okay. So hi everyone, my name is Mithra and I'm from London. I'm here to talk about the COVID-19 situation in the UK. So as of yesterday, there's been 233,151 cases of COVID-19. As you can see, the number of cases has been increasing drastically day by day. Because of this, there are many restrictions the people have to abide by, such as buying only what we need and not going out unless they have to go shopping, do exercise, or go to work. So what restrictions are there in the UK? At shops, people have to wait in a long queue outside. They need to maintain a 2-meter gap from other people, and they need to put disinfectant spray on their trolleys just in case a COVID-19 person might have touched their trolleys before them. Some adults have to work from home. Other adults who have a job that can't be done from home, like zookeepers who have to look after animals from the zoo, have to continue going to work. Children can't go to school, so they had to entertain themselves by playing games and doing work which their school sent online. Some kids attend online schools from either their school or private classes from tutors. Some websites conduct writing competitions which encourage lots of children to participate in. All tests that were meant to be taken during May and June have been cancelled until further notice, including GCSEs. The British government's actions. When coronavirus outbreak first began, the British government advised families to stop going out too often and include immune-boosting nuts in their diet so that their immune system will get better. They made shops restock their shelves so they only held essentials, such as pasta and water bottles, and created new rules for people to follow. Hence, social distancing and touching items you only need. Recently, they made an announcement saying that they would like to reopen schools by the 1st of June. However, some parents are concerned about their child's safety and are not too keen about this proposal. When lockdown ends, many people will still be wearing masks and gloves for extra protection. A significant amount of the population will start to cycle to school or work to avoid using the crowded public transport. In schools, teachers and staff members would advise children to wash their hands thoroughly or put hand sanitizer before eating lunch and after playing in the playground. Although lockdown may have ended by then, people will still be very cautious about what they did. Overall, coronavirus situation has left people being extra careful and completely changed the way they behave with others for a long time. Thank you for listening to me. I hope you like my presentation.
All right, that was great for the presentation. I think you definitely covered a lot of the restrictions in the UK. So thank you so much. All right, next up we have Ria from the USA. So Ria, you can go ahead. All right, Ria, can you hear us? Okay, Ria, you can go ahead with your presentation. Okay, I think Ria is facing some technical difficulty. Okay, Ria, we'll come back to you. So next, can we have Sneha from India? You can go ahead with your presentation. All right, it looks like Sneha is also facing a technical difficulty. All right, can we go ahead with Rahul from Australia? Rahul, you can go ahead with your presentation.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
You're audible.
Okay, so the COVID-19 situation in Australia is reasonable. It's much better compared to like other parts of the world. In Victoria there are currently case count of actually no, in Australia there's just under 7,000 cases and only like 98 people have died from that. It's like a 1.4% mortality rate. And we're currently in stage 4 of the lockdown. So that means you can only go out for shopping, exercise, medical needs, work, and education. There's been a recent modification to the reasons to go out. So like it's still shopping, medical supplies, exercise, work and education, but there's a new one for visiting friends. But you can only do that if you must. The government is also working to get students in Victoria back to school soon. A staggered return of the school will begin from May 26. Yeah, so that's that. And the safety measures that will be adapted from COVID-19, the general hand hygiene when traveling to school or work will be very common, especially via public transport. Not also like you shouldn't go to school even if you're sick unless under medical advice too, and always washing your hands after you sneeze or cough, and always before you eat or touch your face. Also, Australia has a COVID-19 safety app, and this app traces your contacts and who you've been with in the case you get COVID-19, and all the people who you've been around, and can be identified, and they can be isolated too in case they have coronavirus. Well, I'm spending my quarantine with my family at home. I have online learning every day on Microsoft Teams. We've been set work on this app called Canvas, and we just have to submit it all online. And so me and my friends, what we did was we set out a schedule, and we just like complete the tasks in the schedule certain time period. And so we all joined this one call, like this call, and we worked together and finished those tasks. One important thing that we should do with COVID-19 is always interact with your friends, because it may be hard to do that during this time, but it's always good to like know your mates are fine and like they're all good. Another important thing is to exercise, because we're all staying at home in isolation. That exercise can be really hard because we're not really going outside. Like if you were to go to school, you'd walk to the station or like you'd walk to school or something and you'd get exercise. But like with this, like isolation, you're not getting much exercise. So that's always good to get exercise. Life after quarantine will be completely different. Everyone will be super cautious about the health. And I've seen this on public transport. I'm not sure if you guys have, but if one person sneezes, everyone will like move out the carriage.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And many people will think twice before like traveling, like whether it's overseas, interstate, or even public transport. And like lots of the travel industries have started to collapse because like I think Virgin Australia or something, they're not going too well with this, and so is the economy, and it will take time for all this to recover. So that's what I think will be life after quarantine.
All right, that's it. Thanks so much for sharing that with us, Rahul. All right, next we have Sneha from India. So Sneha, you can go ahead.
Okay, hi guys, I'm Sneha. Can you hear me?
Yep, you're audible.
You're audible.
Go ahead.
Okay. During this quarantine, I hope all are doing all your works, but most of my time goes like watching movies. People in our area are still cautious about Corona and this COVID-19. Even though COVID-19 is considered as a pandemic, people here are not giving up. They are standing up against it. That's what all we want. Life after Corona, life after quarantine will not be easy, guys. This will be the challenging part indeed. Our survival will depend on our ability to adapt. It will depend on how aware we are about ourselves and not infecting others when we are sick. For example, when we go out and come back home, the first thing we must do is clean ourselves, either by washing hands, legs, or taking a shower. Small strides can keep you away from COVID-19. The first priority goes for your health. Consume more fruits and vegetables, which will improve your immunity naturally. Wear face masks, maintain social distancing wherever you go, and cover your nose and mouth while sneezing or coughing, and wash your hands often. Is one of my hobbies now. COVID-19 can be faced only when we all work together. Only when we all work together, we can come out of the crisis. The main authorities are giving their best shot. It's in our hands. We, the citizens of the country, must coordinate with them as much as guys. Hope you are enjoying your current.
Right, I think there's been a bit of technical delay, but thank you so much, Sneha, for sharing that with us. And now we have Ria from the USA. So Ria, would you like to share your views on this topic? You can go ahead.
Okay. So the COVID-19 situation where I live is really bad. So wait. I checked on Thursday, and there were 11 deaths and 393 total cases in Forsyth County, where I live in Georgia. And in the U.S., there was 1,408,948 total cases. Salons, barbershops, and not to forget spas are all open. Even though these shops are open, there's a lot of restrictions. So everyone has to wear a mask. When you go in once in a while, they will check your temperature. And there can not be many people inside at once. One cool thing is there are a lot of high-tech masks you can get, like free CPAPs, and there's something similar called Brevida mask. My family gets groceries with Instacart and use Kroger and Walmart pickup. We always wash our hands when coming back home. So some safety measures to adopt in everyday life for COVID-19. Social distancing is a very important safety measure to adopt in everyday life for COVID-19. If you social distance, there's not a 0% you won't get the virus, but it's a less percent. At least it's not 80 to 100% to get the virus. You definitely want to make sure you're healthy, lots of vegetables. If you normally like that, just continue. If you're not that type of person like me, then you might just need to eat more fruits and vegetables because immunity does not build fast. One rule to follow is just to make sure that you always wash your hands before eating and after you go to the bathroom. Not to forget after coming from outside. You might just want to take a shower even though it might be the second time. One tip I give you is when you're coming back from the grocery store, make sure that one person washes their hands immediately and opens the fridge or freezer, while the other people make sure not to touch anything and put the things in the fridge. Then your whole family can remember that teamwork makes the dream work and work together by putting everything that doesn't go in the fridge or freezer where it goes. I spend quarantine doing piano. That's currently my only extra activity. I practice the piano about 30 minutes every day. I dance, sing, and play with my brother so much. Some great books I've read and recommend to you guys are Stay Like Us and Love Like Sky. Some other books I've read, but not the most interesting, are Never Girls and the New Dogman, Where the Ball Rolls. You should read all of these books. These are things that I do after school. To finish all my schoolwork, it takes about 5 to 8 hours. Sometimes I finish quicker, like in 2 to 4 hours. This is my schedule for most of the week on Friday and sometimes Saturday. I watch movies with my family. Other than movies, I play Xbox games with my brother. Some days, like Wednesday, I played in the sprinkler and played with water guns. Oh, not to forget, me and my brother share a hobby. We both like finding earthworms and holding them while they wiggle. We take care of them day after day, which is the funnest part. Aftermath life, adapting to the new life after quarantine. After quarantine, for about 2 to 3 weeks, some people will still be afraid to go to other people's houses. They might even be afraid to play with them. They will be afraid to go back to shops, arcades, movie theaters, and malls. After that, people will go back to normal, enjoy life once again. It will be still sad to all the family members who died in the crisis, and they will feel happy for the ones who recovered. Even after that, life won't be normal. Everybody will still remember this virus crisis situation. Thank you.
All right, that was pretty great. Thanks for sharing that with us, Ria. I think you shared some quite interesting activities during quarantine. And also, we know that in the US, the situation is quite serious, and we hope that we can definitely flatten the curve soon. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
So next we'll have
Okay.
So Ojas, would you like to share anything about the COVID-19, maybe where you live, just something with us? Ojas, are we audible? Okay. So I think Ojas, you can go ahead and share your views, thoughts, and opinions on this topic.
So in Australia, it's like, so we're in quarantine right now. So what I usually do would be, I would go outside and play with my neighbor because now we're allowed to do that. So I do that after school, and like sometimes I play with my Lego and then might watch movies on the weekend. And that's all I do.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for sharing that with us. So that brings us to the end of the speakers' discussion. First of all, I want to say thank you so much to all the speakers today, Peyton, Ria, Nivedita, Rahul, Praveen, and Ojas as well, Mitra as well. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, views, and opinions with us. You did provide some valuable insights. So yeah, and thank you so much to the participants today as well. We definitely hope you enjoyed the session and also found it really useful. So we are definitely looking forward to meeting you all in the next session as well. It's going to be even more interesting. We'll be talking about life skills for students and learning brought home, how we can develop 21st century skills. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing you all there. And so before we end the session, we'll quickly go over the aftermath and outlook of the COVID-19. So I think Arpi can go ahead.
Yeah, so coming to the end of the session, thinking about life stepping ahead, we must know that the virus is not eradicated. We must know that the virus is not completely eradicated and that it's still in the world. So all of us should keep following all our safety measures, our protocols, our precautions to keep all of us safe.
I think that definitely. And as well, a lot of us will be wondering how this is all going to play out in the next few weeks, months, maybe even years at this point. And basically, the concept of exponential growth is not intuitive to a lot of people. But what it really means is that when we have a human-to-human transmissible virus similar to the COVID-19, it creates exponential growth. And what I mean by that is if we have one case, it will lead to 2 or 3 other cases. So in that case, if we don't change our behavior, basically all we're going to expect is a medical overload of our systems. We're going to expect a majority of people to be affected. And basically this whole pandemic will definitely take a huge toll on us. So I think it starts small. It starts with each one of us. Make sure you follow all the safety protocols and not only follow this yourselves, but also advise others to do so too. All right, so thank you so much for coming to this meeting. We hope you enjoyed it as well. We're looking forward to seeing you all in the next session. So if you would like to apply as a speaker, you can definitely contact us through WhatsApp or email. So we will definitely be sharing that in the chat below. So once again, thank you so much for coming to this session. We hope you enjoyed it and also took away some valuable information too.
When is the next session gonna be?
The next session will happen on the 18th of May.
Okay, thank you.
About life skills and learning brought home. So we will regarding the details. Yeah, you can
Is
definitely.
it the same timing on the 18th? Same time?
Yeah, it's the same time. It's 4 p.m. IST. So if you would like to be a speaker, you can definitely leave your contact details below in the Q&A or the chat. Yeah. And we're definitely looking for speakers from a lot of the participants. We definitely want you guys to get a chance at speaking too. So definitely leave your contact details below and we'll definitely get back to you. And kindly leave it right now so we all can get back to you soon. All right, so does anyone have any questions?
And we would like the participants too.
Does anyone have any questions? All right, hold on, I'll be unmuting all of you. Okay. All right, does anyone have any questions?
Thanks for the invitation.
All right, you're welcome, Hayden. Thank you so much for joining.
Oh, it's okay.
All right, you can leave your contact details below and for the next video. All right, so I've left my number in the chat, so you can go ahead and contact us if you'd like to participate in the next session as a speaker. I will also be leaving my email ID.
Do we have to register for the next
Yes.
webinar?
Yeah, we'll send you the registration link and everything. You can contact us and we'll give you the details.
So now we share the.
So you
Can you guys email it to me? Like, can you guys email it to me?
Sure, that's
right.
All right, then you have a question. You can go ahead.
We can present even in the next session if we are interested.
Could you repeat the question?
We can even present the next session if we are
Sure.
interested.
You can definitely make a presentation. It's up to you. You can just share your views and opinions. That's what we're looking for.
We will love your thoughts.
Yeah,
and
your
perspectives.
thoughts and perspectives.
Yeah.
All right, I think so that brings us to the end of the session. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and we look forward to seeing you in the next Classminds Campfire session. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.